Hey everybody, what's going on? Just old man here. People that this video is going to be more about fun shit, funny shit, and the subject that I'm going to come to uh, in a minute will be the subject of this video. But first, I got to start off with people when you get to my age, 60 years old, and you have crammed so much stuff in your head for the last 20 years, people, from black law, the Bible, all kinds of research that I have put myself through in the last 20 years, or more than that. Actually, before I started doing all the research and everything, I just did 3 years of college. I didn't go to college until I was 38 years old, and I was 40 when I graduated. Or, no, 41 when I graduated from college. So I went straight from that 3 years of. I went 5 nights a week, folks. I still had my painting business that I was running during the day, and I went 5 nights a week. What was it? 5 hours a night, 5 nights a week, in order to be considered a full-time student, so that I could get what loans I needed to get, and get grants too. I had to be considered a full-time student. So, and I did get about 15. Let me see. I think it was around $15,000 in grants when I was going to college. So, but I went straight out of that into all this research. This is about the time, or this was around the time the towers went down, and I I did a lot of research on government stuff before I even got into researching black law. And no, folks, I didn't research all of black law. I researched the things I wanted to know about in those books, and in order to be able to do what the fighting that I've done over the years. But before I get into that, these memories I have every now and then. It's like on your YouTube channel, and you have, what is that? They call it, I think, a news feed or something. But it's where, people that you're sub to, their videos will come up, or even maybe other stuff. If the people you're sub to ain't putting out, you'll get other stuff. So, and I see my your memory kind of like this. So I spent the last 20 some years pumping all these new important things into my head, into my brain, locking them down so I can talk about them without having the books in front of me and shit, folks, and be able to talk right and understand it. And so it pushed a lot of my old memories that really ain't nothing. It kind of pushes it so far back. It doesn't erase them. It doesn't erase those memories, but it pushes it so far back. But every now and then on my news feed in the old man head here, one of these old memories will come up. Well, this memory popped into I'm sitting here working on how I'm going to do, about a 15, 20 minute, 30-minute video on the subject that I'm going to talk about. And what I had wasn't a whole lot. So I'm trying to think, okay, what can I add to it? Something funny that I can add to it. And for some reason, this memory pops back up in my head. The first time I heard this story, I was rolling horse laughing. I call it horse laughing, folks. I'm talking about slobbering, snot coming out your door or out of your nose, tears. I call that horse laughing. It was so damn funny. Now, the person that told me this, and it is a true story, and the person that exists, he's still alive today. I think. I'm not for sure. I haven't heard anything. Uh, but this person was a person in my life that it is my uncle. Uh, he's my brother of my dad, my father. And now my father was the oldest. Then there was a brother named Ernest. He died back when I was about 5 years old. Uh, and then the youngest one was my Uncle Tommy. Now he's a storyteller. My dad, if you ask him, he didn't talk nothing about how when they were kids if they had any kind of fun or not. All my dad ever told me was about working that tobacco field that but the people that adopted him working in that tobacco field, And but he never told us any stories about anything that was fun, that they were swimming in the creek or jumping off into the lake or anything like that. He never told us any stories like that. But my uncle now, he was about 4 years younger than my dad. He was the youngest. Now he told us stories. We were like, "Would you lie? Are you talking about our dad? This stuff happened with our dad?" And he was a good storyteller, man. Oh, one of them guys that he could make a he could make a this hurricane like what just hit here in Florida. He could make it all sound funny. He was just that kind of person that he could tell a story and make it funny out of anything. And so me and my wife, uh, we were over at their house, and me and my uncle was talking about his grandsons and my cousins, and when they were kids. Now these guys are, well, one of them just recently died here a couple of years ago, or about a year ago or 2 years ago. The other one's still alive, but these guys were they were brothers, and they were probably somewhere around 3 and 5 years old at the time of this story. Now my uncle's he's telling me he's sitting there. He just I think he said he was watching TV, and the boys came out of a room, and they had these. It was a plastic teacup and a saucer, and they had some other stuff. There was stuff, toys that they had like that. Um, I can't remember why, but they did have those toys uh, as boys. Anyway, my uncle said he's sitting there. This was years ago, years and years ago. These guys, like I said, they're way old, or not as old as me, but they're old. But the ones that. But anyway, he starts telling me and my wife this story. They were named Rusty and Rodney, was the two little boys, and it makes me laugh just thinking about it. He said he's sitting there at TV, watching TV, sitting in his chair, and here come these two little boys, and they're saying, "Tea party, Grandpa, tea party, Grandpa," and they got this saucer with a cup sitting on it. And they come out to Grandpa, and they're standing there going, "Tea party, Grandpa, tea party." And he goes, "Oh, tea party, huh?" And he reaches over and they hand it to him, and he goes, and he tells the story like this, because he don't actually have the cup in his hand, but he goes, "They hand it to me, and I drink it right up, and hand it back to them. Say, thank you a lot, guys. Appreciate you bringing it to me. They run back in. They're, Papa, like a tea, Papa. And they run back into the bedroom. Well, here they come again. Tea party, Grandpa, tea party. And he takes that saucer and oh, well, thank you. Thank you a lot. Drinks it down. Hands it back to him. They, oh, Pop, or not Pop. Grandpa loved that. Loved the tea. Loved it. Well, it was a little while. He's sitting there watching TV. All of a sudden, or a little bit later, or it wasn't, maybe a couple of minutes or so, and here them boys come again. Tea party, Grandpa. Tea party, Grandpa. And he takes it, and he starts thinking about it, and he's got this teacup and saucer in his hand, and he said he's sitting there going, well, where are you guys getting this? Where are you guys getting this water from? They go, tea party, Grandpa, tea party. He's going to show Grandpa where you're getting this water from. He follows them back through there. Now remember, this is how he explained it to me. Drinking that water down. He drank 2 cups of water in a plastic cup and saucer out of the toilet, folks. Out of the toilet. When he told me that, it had to be 25 years ago or so. Me and my wife been together going 31 years this year in December, folks. 31. We've been married. Been together for about 35. Or 33, 34, somewhere around it. People, that's some funny shit. But when you got kids, you better think about what's going on before you just start grabbing that teacup and drinking it down. Now, he did say it took him about 24 hours of brushing his teeth before he felt comfortable again. Oh, yeah. Now we're going to get to, this is what the whole video is about, really, folks. Gossip and rumors. People around my neighborhood, everybody knows me. Everybody around here knows me. I'm always out on the porch with my dog, got her out there or whatever, and I smoke out on the front porch, or I come out here in the barn and I smoke. But we've been here about 4 years now, or it's over 4 years now. But we don't bother nobody. We don't have no big parties to aggravate anybody or have cars plugging up the drive or the street or anything. All we do is we do our family things here. My family comes here. There ain't never been a cop called on this house for any reason. No reason. There is nothing that's happening here that anybody has a problem with. Everybody around here, they know the old man sitting up on the porch. A couple of them know me by my channels because I told them. Those channels were taken down a long time ago. They don't know about none of my new ones because I didn't tell them about those. But I try not to talk about anything, and at one time, people, my neighbors were the very first video I made on the Boardman Township Police Department happened right here, and I was recording the whole damn neighborhood. But I quit doing that because I found out more about the people that live here, and I didn't want anybody in the neighborhood, because a lot of them knew I was doing what I did online, and I didn't want them to dislike me as a neighbor because of the things I was doing. So I stopped doing any kind of recording around here other than any kind of security cameras or anything, folks. But everybody feels comfortable with me. 100% comfortable. They'll come over and sit on the porch and just tell me everything. If I'm not over here on my porch and they catch me, or I'll be talking to them just when I'm out cutting the grass or something, I'll stop and talk to them or something, and other neighbors will tell me other things about other neighbors. Some neighbors tell me things about them and then tell me, don't tell nobody. Okay, well, I don't tell anybody anything. So, except I tell my wife. I talk to my wife and my daughter here in this house. Nothing that we talk about in this house goes outside of my house. Folks, my house, and I've told you guys this before in other videos, my house is a sanctuary. I don't let people into my house. There's nobody in this neighborhood that has been inside the house that we rent, that my family rents. Nobody in this neighborhood has been in that house since we put our stuff inside that house. I don't let people. My house, and I've even told even the Boardman Township Police Department, my house is a sanctuary. You don't come in my house. And I will protect it just as that. My property, if you're going to come on it, I have a warrant. I have a right to be there anyway. And well, let me tell you about the rumors and the gossip first. The rumor has been here for about the last, I think it's been about a week or a couple of weeks or something. That's something. I got this one neighbor telling me something's going on. Cops are everywhere. Cops up there, down there, over there, around the corner. They're everywhere. And in this time that she's talking, and she's telling me about this, and I don't sit out front looking. I go out front. I sit. I do my thing. I don't care what anybody else in the neighborhood's doing. If they want to be over there, standing over there, freaking blowed out speakers on their stereo, blaring it, partying, drunk, whatever, I don't care what they do. Do not bring it to my house. Do not bring it to my door. None of it. And these people would make sure nobody at their parties ever affected my yard, my space, me in any way, shape, or form. These people would make sure of that in the neighborhood. Other people, they see me, they'd come over offering to cut my grass because they know I have health problems. Matter of fact, year and a half ago or 2 years ago, we went into winter, and at this time was when, almost 2 years ago, when the heart doctors took me off of those pills I was on. Or no, I took myself off of them because I wouldn't wear the mask into the heart doctor's office. And basically over the winter, I dropped about 70 or 60 pounds, 60 pounds just in about a 4 or 5 month period. And my neighbors see me outside in my jacket all winter shoveling snow and shit and doing what I had to do. But I always had, usually got 2 or 3 jackets on, sweat jackets on, and under this, or if it's real cold, I have a big old heavy jacket. But these guys didn't know any changes was happening to me because they'd still see me sitting outside and I had them jackets on and everything. And but at the time when all this stuff went down here in Boardman, these guys, I come out. It was starting to be in the spring. I didn't need the big jackets on anymore. I'd done dropped 60 pounds. My neighbors were looking at me. I came outside without my coat on when I was being arrested and shit. And these people were looking at me going, "What the heck? Brian, are you all right, man? Man." Because I went from 240, 250 pounds down to 170, 180 pounds, somewhere around that. Everybody around here thought I was dying. They're worried to death about me. So we had boys in the neighborhood wanting to cut the grass and stuff over here, and I was like, no, I'm going to keep cutting this grass till I can't cut it no more. If it ever gets to that point, then we'll talk about it then. But I'm going to keep cutting this grass. People, I go out and cut my grass. In my front yard, it's about 4 times the size of this barn, and I have to stop 2 or 3 times because I don't have the wind, the lungs, to do it straight through. I have to stop, calm my heart down, get my breath back, or I could go into a heart attack. But I'm still going to do it. And the people around here, they try to help. And they do. They really do. And it's not that I don't want their help, but if everybody keeps doing all this, then my health is going to drop even worse. I still need to be doing whatever I can do to keep me doing something, So, but I've got these guys, they started telling me about this drug dealer. Just about 2 or 3 days ago, I got a neighbor who's telling me how all these cops are in the neighborhood. They've been around here. Oh, you know what? This is what they told me. They finally got the drug dealer out of here. I'm going, drug dealer? There's been a drug dealer right here in this area, right around here? And she's going, yeah. There was a drug dealer. Brown house down the street, not far. I'm going, oh, man, he's good. Or he's broke because he didn't have no traffic or anything coming around here. Nobody, not that anybody that's ever said, that lives down there or anything ever said, man, there's a lot of traffic coming in and out of this house over here. This guy must be a drug dealer. Well, maybe he's not that kind of drug dealer. Maybe he makes one buy, one sell, and he's done. I don't know. But I'm kind of curious. And I made some friends around here in the police department, folks, over the last 4 years. And so I'm curious. They came to my house. They just came to my house maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They pull up, walk up, talk, ask my son, my daughter. We're having a family thing at the house. I'm out here in the barn, rolling cigarettes, folks. I'm telling you, I smoke zigzags. You see those tubes in there? I fill them with my own tobacco. Or not with my own tobacco. I fill it with this tobacco. But anyway, because people say I smoke Marlboros, I can't afford Marlboros. Anyway, I'm sitting out here rolling me a couple of packs of cigarettes because my family's over and I'd done smoked all the ones I had rolled. So they show up claiming there's somebody beating up somebody. But anyway, uh, I'm still wondering about this drug dealer that could have been in the neighborhood. And I didn't know nothing about it. You can't slip shit like that past me, folks. I've been fucking with drug dealers for a long time. But I wasn't looking. I wasn't paying attention to people down the street. I don't give a shit what you do around here. But in Boardman Township now, folks, I don't know where you guys live, but we have like a citywide homeowners association. It's called the zoning department, and they can tell you what you can do and what you can't do on your own property. But anyway, since we're already 26 minutes in, uh, I I've made friends with. Right now, it'd have to be about half of the police department because they're down, way down on officers right now compared to when I first moved in here 4 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere around that. They're way down on police officers. But I know quite a few of them. And if I'm driving down the road and I see one of them, I know I'll pull in bullshit with them for a little bit. Even if there's nothing else to say, hey, man, what's going on? Hell, just checking, see if you're still alive. We know how bad things are around here. And, but I'll pull in bullshit with them. A lot of them, they only know me by Watachi because of my channel. And my channel used to be talked about in their meetings every day at one time. So a lot of them, and all they have to see is this, and they know exactly who I am. If this is gone, kind of throws them off. Some of them. Because I had this on the whole time I was fighting this town, even in the courtroom. I didn't wear it inside the courtroom, but even in the court house and shit. These guys knew me by just this hat. But so I see a guy, one of the officers over here, and I pull in, and it's one of them that I know pretty good, so that's a good thing. And so I can bullshit with him a little bit, you know. And so I pull in, I'm talking to him, and I said, hey, man, what the hell's going on over here on my street? He goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't know. Hell, you guys busting drug dealers and shit over there on my street? He's going, what are you talking about, man? I've been off for 2 days. What are you talking about? I said, man, I don't know what's going on over there, but they've been at my house. They're up and down that street. I don't know what's going on. But my neighbor said they got the damn drug dealer out of there. And so he's looking. He starts he's sitting in his police car, and he starts checking, and he's going, man, what day would this have been? Do you have any idea? I'm going, well, oh man, shit. But I think it was either, she was telling me about it, I think today or yesterday. So it had to be within the last 2 or 3 days that this drug dealer supposedly got busted. And so he's looking on there, and he's going, yeah, I've been off a couple of days here, so let me look. He's kind of looking, and he's going, I ain't finding nothing. I said, what about them guys coming to my house? Talking about domestic violence and stuff. And he's going, what? I go, you didn't hear about that, Mike? Oh, shit. I didn't mean to mention a name. He goes, no, I didn't hear nothing about that. I said, Oh, yeah, they come to my house, man. My family's at my house. You know my family. So my son and my daughter sitting out on the front porch. I said, two cops pull up. First one parks right in front of my house. I said, that's our buddy. I said, you remember the one came up on my front porch talking to my son the day you guys all met me? He goes, oh, officer. And I said, yeah. So he comes up asking my daughter, son, about who's beating the hell out of who over here. He's going, no. I'm going, oh, yeah. He says, I said, man, my son, my daughter said, hey, well, Tachi's out in the barn. They didn't say what Tachi. They said, Brian's out in the barn. Are you guys looking for him? And they go, no. And they start to walk around the side of my house, going back towards my barn down my driveway. And my daughter and my son both, hey, I don't think you should be doing that. And even the officer at that time said, I know. But I'm telling this officer tonight, I said, this guy, he just started walking around, going to go down my driveway back towards my barn. And even his eyes lit up. And he goes, he did? And I go, oh, yeah. And I said till my son, my daughter told him not to do it. And then he started saying, oh, we know. And he goes, oh, okay. I can't believe he was, he was like, I can't believe he was even going to attempt that. I told these guys. I told Nick Newland, which he's a good officer. He's ex-Marine. He's also on the SWAT team and shit up here. But me and him, and he's another story I'd have to tell you how I met him and shit. But he hell, I can't remember where I was going with that now. Old man shit. Right there, old man shit. But anyway, anyway, I'm talking to this. I can go a million directions, folks, with a story. But I'm talking to this officer, and he's telling me, "No, I can't find that. I don't know what the hell is going on over." He goes, "Well, he goes, there ain't nothing being reported or anything like that on it, or." And so I was like, "All right, well, I'm just wondering, man. I had somebody telling me there's a drug dealer taken off of my street, and I didn't know nothing about it." I said, "I don't believe that." I said, either that or he was a pretty lousy drug dealer because he didn't even have no traffic or nothing coming around, you know. And he looks at me and he goes, "You know what? I want to show you something." Now, he's driving the the newest police car that department has right now. He's driving it. Car 19. We're sitting there, I'm looking at him. He goes, "Look." He goes, "You see this up here?" And he's pointing at this fucking box that's right here almost by his head, you know. I'm going, yeah, what the I'm looking, because I'm sitting in my Jeep right next to him in this police car. And I'm looking up and I'm trying to get out there and look up at it. I'm going, oh, what the hell is that? He's going, "You see that right there on the dash?" He's pointing at the dash. It's got this damn thing sticking up off the dash. About that tall. Well, what the hell is that shit? He goes, "That's a dash cam." That's a dash cam. 360 degrees, folks. He's going, "There's another one," and he's pointing in the back there. I'm going, "Are you shitting me? There's another camera in the back of that car, 360 degree camera?" He's going, "Yeah." He goes, "When I got out of this car on Friday, this shit wasn't in it. When I come back, his shit's in it." He goes, "Now there ain't." poking the buttons and shit on this damn thing. It's right in between his seat. He's going, I don't think it ain't on. There ain't no power running to it, but I can, he goes, but I can take my body camera off and put it right here, right next to it, and it recharges my body camera. And then he puts the body camera back on his chest. And he goes, but there ain't no power cord running to it, so how is it charging from that? I'm going, you gotta be kidding me, man. He's going, hell no. He goes, they tell us, this is the officer, they tell us that thing will not come on. None of them cameras, none of that microphone, none of it will come on unless we hit our lights to go after somebody or to go to a call or something. That's the only time we're supposed to come on. He's saying now, and if we roll up on a scene where an officer's already, he's the first one on scene, he's in charge, these lights, and he's got his emergency lights on and shit, it will indicate this car and kick the cameras on this car as well, along with the cameras that are on the officer that's made the stop. So they work in conjunction with each other. And he goes, so I asked people about it. What if I'm just driving down the road? Sorry, folks. What if I'm just driving down the road and an officer has somebody pulled over? I'm not stopping. I'm just driving by. Does the camera kick on then? They're going, well, it very well could. I'm going, by this time I'm busting. I'm horse laughing, folks. I said, you got to be kidding me, right? He's going, no. And what makes this so funny, folks, is that 4 years ago, when I moved into this house, four and a half years ago, and my first video, and I showed it on my, it's on my Boardman Township, Ohio channel. First video I made with these guys, the Boardman Township Police Department. And the very guy that starred in that video, along with 3 other officers, was the actual cop I was talking to tonight. Now, him and his buddy, they grew up around here. And Nick Newland's his buddy. They grew up around here. They both, one went into the Army, one went into the Marines. They both, one of them's still in the Army. He's in the Army Reserves right now. The guy that was in the Marines is out, Nick Newland. And these guys, like I said, they grew up around here. They went to high school together. They're buddies. And I told these guys, now Nick, when I met Nick wasn't called on me. He's a police officer here in Boardman. He wasn't called on me. He was sicked on me, is all I can say. He is a part of the drug task force, the SWAT team. He's a sniper. He was in some kind of special forces when he was in the Marines. He was in the Iraq War, along with my son. Not together, folks, by any means, but they were both in it. And now Nick, first time I ever met Nick, I'm sitting out on the porch with my dog out there, and here comes a police car 18, driving by my house. I'm sitting out there, I got my hat on and shit. These guys been watching many, many videos of mine because I'd sent them right straight to the police chief, the sheriff's department. I sent them to everybody. So that's how these departments knew about me. And, but Nick, he's driving, here he comes. He drives by my house going one direction. And I see him eyeballing me hard, a cop. I'm like, And he goes on down the street and he turns around at the funeral home down at the end of the street. And here he comes back by again. I'm still sitting out there. All I hear is this cop driving in a police car yell out, Watachi! That's what he did when he drove by my house. I was like, why didn't he just stop? If he knew who I was, why didn't he just stop? He knew me from my videos and shit. So I did a video that night. I said, hey, car 18, don't come driving by my house yelling Watachi. If you got something you want to talk about, pull your ass in the driveway and we'll talk. That video hit the damn police department the next, exactly when I wanted it to. They went through it. Guess what happened, folks? I'm sitting out on the porch with my dog the next day. Here come Nick Newland pulling in my fucking driveway. I was like, oh, okay, all right. He gets out, he comes up, we're sitting on my porch talking and shit. Shook hands, talked to me, talked a little while. Shook hands, he left, and when he was leaving, I looked at him and I said, hey, just so you know, if you come back to this house, if you're in that uniform and driving that police car, you come on this property with a warrant. Don't come back without it. And he looked at me and he said, all right. And they ain't been back on it until just the other day when this guy was called about some kind of domestic violence. They've never come back on this property because of that. And I told them at that time, I said, let me put it like this. If you come to my house anytime, day or night, you got more cameras on you than I've ever had in my pocket or in my car or wherever. All the other videos I make of you, when you come to my house, you're on stage. You're being videotaped from many different angles. Always remember that. I told them that straight out. Not only from what I might have, I have my neighbors and their security cameras on their houses covering my yards. My yard. I ain't lying to you. I told them to do it. I said, put your cameras right straight across covering any area you need to cover. I don't care how much you show of my yard. Point it right straight at it. I said, I ain't got nothing to hide. Funniest thing now, I told these guys, old Nick Newland and Mike, we the night they arrested me, we were actually friends. By the time they actually arrested me, now Nick Newland was the one, he was the arresting officer, and Mike was the one that was backing him. That's who they called in because they knew I had guns, and they was hoping these two guys could keep any kind of gunplay from happening. And they did. They pulled the gun out of my pocket and handed it to my wife when they arrested me. And but I told these guys at that time, I said, you guys ain't got no damn body cameras, no dash cameras on none of these police cars or nothing. And they go, no, we can't afford them. And I looked at them and I said, well, let me see what I can do for you. We'll get some cameras on you boys. That's what makes it so funny. That same guy, the first video I made at Boardman Township Police Department, he's showing me his police card. It's got two 360-degree cameras inside it, pointed at him. He's got his body camera on his chest at all times. These guys, I guarantee you, and I told these guys at the time, I had enough fucking videos to sue this town, the ship, this probably even this whole damn state from the corrupted shit that's happened to me. And I said, and the only reason I won't ever sue you because you people won't be the ones to pay the bill. It'll be the taxpayers. And I ain't suing the taxpayers. They did nothing to me. One day, it'll be your pensions I sue for if I can. People, these guys, this Boardman Township Police Department has so many cameras on them today, it ain't even funny. And none of them want to tell me that I had anything to do with it. But I had many, many, many videos of them. I still got them, but I'd have to hunt them down. Where I got them stored at, on clouds and all this stuff I got going for all these videos, folks, I'd have to hunt the hell out of them. That's why I try to start other channels and pile them on there before I forget or lose them or whatever. But people, it's kind of funny how things come around. And it only took about 4 years. These guys, they can't even go to the bathroom alone. They got cameras on them. That's funny. I love these guys, though. I do. I really do. Nick Newland, Mike McManus, I love these guys. I would never do anything to harm either one of them at any time. Unless they was trying to physically harm me, then we'd have to talk about that. But I love these guys. They're good guys. And we've learned together. Let's just put it like that. You guys, God loves you. So do I. Till the next one. Seek Jesus' path. Always. Oh, yeah. Pop's out of here.